and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. The big news this week. At the tribunal of Faria Alam, emails she wrote to a friend were read out in court. She refused to name who she was having an affair with, saying only that he was famous, worked for the FA and coached the national team. Oh, will these pieces of the puzzle never come together? While having an affair with Sven-Göran Eriksson at the FA, Faria nicknamed him Sugar because he was so sweet. Ironic as sweet FA is all England have ever won with her. At Wimbledon, Maria Sharapova broke the record for the loudest grunt during a tennis match, measured at 101 decibels, beating the previous grunting record held by Monica Seles when that stalker stabbed her in the back. Tim Henman was knocked out in the second round at Wimbledon. He put his disappointing recent form down to his bad back, although he failed to mention his piss-poor legs and his shite arms. Joining me tonight to work their way through a series of satirical games are 6 of the country's finest comedy performers. Andy Parsons, Rory Bremner and Linda Smith, and David Mitchell, Hugh Dennis and Frankie Boyle. Welcome to you all. Let's kick off with a round called Headliners. I showed the teams a photo of someone who's been making the news this week, along with the initial letters of a newspaper headline. The teams have to tell me what the letters stand for. This one's for both teams. Here's a picture of Tony Blair. But what does BFSB stand for?
Is it Blair finally strangles Brown?
Is it Blair finds shampoo breakthrough?
Do you think Blair works in Laboratoire Garnier at the weekends?
Yeah, because he's worth it.
It occurred to me that it might be Botoxed fingers sadden Blair, and they're actually just stuck like that.
He's chosen this moment to speak out as one of the many victims of Botox paralysed hands. So it's had a real effect on his policies. He can only type with his sort of fist.
But it's affecting Michael Howard as well, because he's got his are the other way around. And they're stuck. They didn't move for the entire election campaign.
I do, however, think it's more likely to be Bush's favourite sycophantic bitch.
Could actually be Blair finds Saddam's bombs. I think
that's extraordinarily unlikely.
I think it would probably have got wider coverage than it has, but...
You think a story like that would have basically found its way through the media in some way?
But sometimes...
Rather than being broken here on Mock the Week.
Blair's fantastic, says Blair.
I'll give you a clue. It's something to do with a thing you put in your mouth.
SB, smoking ban.
Yes.
Britain faces smoking ban.
No, I think that's about as close as we're going to get. The answer is Blair favours smoking ban, referring to the government's recent proposals to introduce a smoking ban in England. As part of the proposal, the legal age at which people can start smoking is to be raised from 16 to 18, in the hope that the real age to start smoking will be raised from 4 to 6. Are you in favour of this smoking ban?
The thing about the smoking ban is that when it comes into force, the Department of Health apparently have issued lots of details about exactly how big and how many no smoking signs there have to be everywhere in all public places. But I don't understand that because it would then be the law, you don't need the signs anymore, because you don't have no murdering signs or signs saying for the comfort of other passengers, please don't stab them in the face and nick their stuff.
The thing, because they're banning hunting, they're banning smoking. I mean, beagles have got no pleasures left.
It's tough on the little beagles, all right.
Apparently, there was a survey out this week that said that 1 in 3 of us are going to get cancer in our lifetimes. Apparently, the things that can increase your chance of getting cancer: smoking, drinking, food, sex, sunshine. Now, I don't know about you, but I was thinking I'm a risk category.
It's had a bizarre effect in Ireland, where I came through about a year ago, and whereby it's been enormously popular with people. The smokers love it because they have to go outside to smoke, and so they meet other smokers, and it's a fantastic icebreaker. Oh, this law's a bitch, isn't it? I know, isn't it? Do you want to go to bed? All right. Smokers in Ireland are getting laid left, right and centre. Young people are taking up smoking just to score at this stage. OK, difficult to choose, but I think Andy was the winner of that particular round. Our next round tonight is called Bombshell Phone Calls. Two players take on the identity of famous newsmakers who are on the phone to one another. At some point in the conversation, one of them will drop a bombshell. Rory, you are George Bush, and Frankie, you are Tony Blair. Tony is calling George to brief him on what's happening in Europe, but the President has a bombshell to drop. Take it away.
What's that sound? Hi, who's calling the White House?
George, it's Tony here.
Tony who? Oh, the English guy. How's it going? Where are you?
Well, I've just got back from Brussels.
Ha, great. Where's that?
It's in Europe.
Oh. Where's that?
Just fire a missile at Baghdad. You'll hit it.
So, how'd you get on with the other leaders?
Well, I don't think myself and Chirac got on too well.
Yeah, I hate Jacques Chirac ever since he started selling weapons to the Iraqis.
Yes, he completely undercut both of us, didn't he?
What do you say? I get rid of Jacques Chirac if you get rid of Bob Geldof.
Well, actually, I wanted to talk to you about Africa.
Why, are we invading there too?
No, next month. Are you coming over?
Sure, they're laying on a concert for us. Did you get any tickets?
Yeah, Sherry found some on eBay.
Yeah. There's something I've been meaning to tell you, Tony. You left something at the White House.
What is it?
Give you a clue. 5'8" tall, dark hair, wears a dress.
It's not Mandelson again, is it?
Tony, you left your wife behind?
Oh, no. What's she been saying?
She won't say anything for less than $30,000.
Now we play a round called Topical Roulette, which involves everybody. So if you could make your way over to the performance area, please. This is a stand-up challenge based on this random news generator dotted with topical subjects and faces. We spin the wheel, and when it stops, anyone can step forward and try to make us laugh about the subject it's landed on. If I judge a player has got a big enough laugh, he or she is safe and gets to sit down again. The first team to have all its players sitting down at the desk wins the round. OK, here we go. The first subject is... that would be congestion, traffic, crisis on the roads, basically. Hugh's in.
There is a crisis on Britain's roads, and part of it is speed cameras. You see, speed cameras don't even make cars go slower. And the problem is they're all stick and no carrot. What happens at the moment is you go through a speed camera above the speed limit, flash goes off, you get a fine. Now, where's the reward in that? What you want to happen is you go through a speed camera under the speed limit, flash goes off. 3 weeks later, you get a nice photo in a frame with a thank you letter and a book token.
Very good, Hugh. Sit down, join us here. OK, our next topic, please. OK, it's African debt. Oh, Linda's coming in.
Now, as we're all probably only too aware, Africa has a lot of debt. And there is currently a lot of pressure on the world banks to cancel that debt. Now, where is the fun in that? I think a much better idea is for Africa to say, F*** off. We're not paying it. We didn't feel the benefit, we're not paying it. What are the World Bank going to do? Repossess Africa? I think the debt is not Africa's problem. I think they should just send a kid out when they come knocking and go, no, Africa's not in.
Well done. Linda, you can sit down. Let's have another topic, please. Ah, the Tory leadership contest. Ken Clarke.
It's a leadership race, and Ken Clarke's deciding whether to run. No, don't laugh. It's the first time for everything. It's quite right. It's quite right that Michael Howe should make way for a younger man, or in my case, an older man. I speak for Middle England. I've got a middle the size of England. I'm a stark contrast to Tony Blair. People look at him, they say he watched his weight, he's fit. They look at me and think, oh, there's Ken, he drinks, he smokes, probably lights his farts. He's the one for me.
Very good. Well done, Rory. Sit down. Let's have another topic, please. Education. David.
Right, well, this week, once again, A-levels and GCSEs have been called into question. And I don't understand why, because we've got a brilliant education policy in this country, which is to make the exams easier and easier every year. So that we can all pretend that we're getting cleverer and cleverer. And the only thing that suffers is, well, civilization. But who gives a shit about that? Because as it is, we can look forward to a Britain where we're all just 60 million grinning half-wits, all of us wearing PhD gowns, sitting around with our tongues hanging out, going, me clever, you clever.
Well done, David. Sit down. Two stand-ups have been shy of getting in so far, so they have to go on the same topic as a kind of a tiebreaker. What is that final topic? Let's spin the wheel. It's gay marriage. Who wants to go first? OK, let's expand it out. Let's say it's gay rights, then. How's that?
Well... the new Pope not exactly in favour, is he? He's not in favour of a few things. He recently described condoms as being sinful. How come we've got to the stage where people who never have sex are telling those people who do have sex how to have sex? I mean, the Pope's there, isn't he? He's going, homosexuality is unnatural. Surely the most unnatural thing in the world is not having any sex whatsoever.
Very good, Andy. Frankie, do you want to take a crack at that topic?
Nice choice of phrase there.
Thank you very much.
Have you seen all this stuff about gay adoption? What's the controversy? I'd have loved to have had a gay dad. Do you remember all that stuff at school? Oh, my dad'll batter your dad. My dad could batter your dad. Listen, my dad'll shag your dad. And your dad'll enjoy it.
Well done for that. Frankie, congratulations, you win. And you come and sit down again. The winners are David, Hugh and Frankie. Our next game is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories relating to current events. For each category, I read out an answer, and the players have to guess what the question might be. David, which category would you like?
Sport, please.
Category is sport. The answer is a streaker, a stalker, and a defrocked priest. What is the question?
It's not, what do we need to get this party started?
Yeah. Is it what are 3 acceptable professions if you want to become a scoutmaster?
Is it what was the hugely unpopular follow-up to The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe?
Is it the 3 costumes that Harry rejected before going for the Nazi?
Which are the 3 interruptions to play that make watching tennis bearable?
That is exceptionally good. It is to do with tennis, yeah. Unwanted guess.
Oh, it's 3 people who've been banned from Wimbledon, isn't
yes,
it?
it's probably right. The actual question I was looking for is who are among the 10 undesirables banned from Wimbledon this year. One of those banned is streaker Mark Roberts, a working-class Liverpudlian who ran naked on centre court in 2002. This led to a huge internal inquiry as to how on earth a working-class person made it through the main gate.
Isn't it going to be hilarious, though, if a Scottish guy wins Wimbledon? That's going to be fantastic, because we couldn't give a shit.
it has to be said, it's always a pleasure, to a certain extent, not to be English at this exact time of year. Because in Ireland, we don't have anyone who won it 67 years ago. So we don't feel we're owed winning it now, right?
I believe it was Bunny Austin, wasn't it?
Anyway, footage of them looks ridiculous. They're in really long trousers doing this, like, meh, I won the trophy, and then down. That's the last person who won it.
It's a lot faster in those days, wasn't it?
It was faster, and jumpier as well. They seem to get their hand from there to there without any movement in the middle. It's bang, there, bang. Oh, Fred Perry, win, down again. The hideous cliché is that if you win, you have to clamber up through the crowd now to hug your father or your mother who are sitting there. Like that. This happens all the time. At this stage, surely the twist would be that they would climb down, for Christ's sake. You've just played 3.5 hours of tennis for Jay. Just stand there and go, come on down, you lazy bastard. You've been sitting there for all year. Go on, climb across the people if you can, mother. What do you think when they get to the top? They go, very, very good. I still loved your brother more, though.
It's Pat Cash's fault. He was the first one to do it. And that, you know, and everyone was saying at the time, oh, isn't he wonderfully exuberant, Pat Cash? And at the time, even as a child at the time, I was thinking, he's not exuberant, he's a lout.
Wouldn't it be terrible if you were going up there, going up through the crowd, and then you realised that you didn't have any parents?
You just have to pick some old woman and hug her in the middle of it. Yes, Wimbledon authorities have banned 10 undesirables from attending the championships. Unfortunately for Tim Henneman, he wasn't drawn against any of them. Rory, do you want to choose?
I'll go for law, please, Darren.
Public is law. The answer is creepy and disturbing. What is the question?
Is this describes Sven-Göran Eriksson's seduction technique? Well, it's my job. I'm manager. It's important for me to try out different people in new positions. You know, that's problem. No problem.
Is it what is sitting on a slightly over-warm seat on a bus? I think they know where I'm coming from.
Is it Michael Howard's only 2 facial expressions?
What is the worst possible answer to the question, how does my bum look in this dress?
I'll give you a clue. It involves Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, well, it's the incitement to racial
Yes.
hatred.
The question I was actually looking for is how did Rowan Atkinson describe the proposed racial and religious hatred bill? This week, Blackadder star Rowan Atkinson led attempts to scupper the government's plans to bring in legislation banning the incitement of religious hatred. Atkinson is concerned that the proposed law would restrict freedom of expression. How do you feel about this? No jokes about religion anymore?
It is tricky, really, because, to be honest, I think even after this law comes in, if you make a joke about the Church of England, you're not going to be in too much trouble, really, because I can't imagine them issuing a fatwa, really. I mean, could you picture a Church of England jihad? You couldn't sell enough homemade cakes to finance it, could you imagine the little barometer outside the church with, we need this much more for Kalashnikovs?
They'd put you in a room and they'd feed you tea and biscuits until you exploded.
There is something very smug about the Church of England, though, that annoys me. It may well be the name, Church of England, because it sort of implies that Jesus himself may well have been English. I feel it's implied, and I don't think he was English, because you look at the paintings. In every painting, Christ, you can see he's not English, because he's very often wearing sandals, but never ever with socks. Enjoy them now. Enjoy them now, folks.
It's interesting now, because the Church of England about Rowan Williams is the way he pronounces the letter S. And the letter S is the principal letter of Christianity, Septuagesima, Christ, the disciples, the Song of Solomon. And isn't it strange that Christ should have chosen for a servant somebody who sounds so suspiciously like a serpent?
Is this the time to say that my father is a bishop?
Yes.
As a child, being a bishop's son, the only problem with it was that if your father, and my father had only got purple shirts, that's all he had. He had 14 purple shirts. And if your father has 14 purple shirts, at some point in your childhood, all your pants are going to be dyed pink.
Can I just say
And
that's
they
a
were.
lovely white shirt you're wearing there tonight?
Thank you very much.
Equally, I feel that you couldn't really offend the Catholics by making jokes about them, because they'll just go, ha, 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 good for you, you're going to burn in hell. Rowan Atkinson was joined in his protest by Stephen Fry and activist Shami Chakrabarti. In other words, a Christian, a Jew and a Muslim walked into a, what am I doing? I can't say that anymore. OK, that's the end of that particular round. I think, because God is on his side, Hugh has to be the winner there. The next round tonight is called Dating Videos. The players take on the identity of a famous newsmaker and record a Lonely Hearts video in the style of that person. Everyone has to try and guess who they are. Frankie, I think you're up first. If you could take your place in the performance area, please. Let us see your dating video.
Hello. I know a lot of people think I don't have good English, but I can assure you that I am for you here waiting with the lovemaking. I see us as bringing very different things to a relationship. You will bring laughter and openness, and I will bring terrible, terrible cruelty. I'm a very deep man, often as much as 20 feet underground. But for the right lady, I allow to inspect me as closely and as regularly as she like. Find my secret weapon? Perhaps. You may have seen me recently in my pants and think that I'm well hung. Well, I soon will be.
Can't really top that, can you? Any guesses there?
Lorraine Kelly?
Saddam.
It is indeed Saddam Hussein. Very good. Well done, Frankie. Saddam. At last week's preliminary hearing, Saddam was asked if there was anything he needed before he stands trial. Yes, he said. Michael Jackson's lawyer. Rory, can you please make your way over to the performance area for your dating video? Let us see who's making a plea from the heart now.
And let me tell you a little bit about myself. How long have you got? I was held in prison for nearly 30 years before they found out the truth about me and made me president. It's like George Bush, only the other way around. I'm over 80. I look like a pint of Guinness. But wait till you see Nelson's column.
Who was it?
Nelson Mandela.
It's Nelson Mandela. Well done, Rory. Sit down, Bremner. That was Lonely Heart Nelson Mandela. Quite a catch, to quote the Pretoria Police in 1964. I think in that round, Rory was the winner, ladies and gentlemen. The final round tonight is Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way over to the performance area, please. I call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK. The first subject tonight is things a Wimbledon commentator would never say.
40, 37.
Well, there is Sharapova, and I'm sure, like me, you long to have those long, moist Russian legs wrapped around your face.
Is it just me, or are they just hitting it back and forth?
How wonderful to see an all-British final.
Well, there's a ball boy needs taming.
Advantage, Widdicombe.
And as they come to the first, it's Spanish steps over safely, followed by red one.
All this grunting is giving me the horn.
In the women's game, Why does the pretty one always lose to the moose?
Goal!
Now, that one must be a man.
Next topic, please. TV shows that never made it to air.
Hi, I'm Bill Oddie, and this is Badger Cull Live.
Complicated financial fraud, she wrote.
Terrorists say the funniest things.
Yes, it's Who Wants to Be a Milliner?
Police, camera, paperwork.
Let's see if you can guess who it is in Lloyd Grossman's Through the Arsehole.
Celebrity Love Island. Oh, no, Christ, that really happened.
Welcome to the first edition of I'm a Suicide Bomber, Get Me In There.
You've been shot.
OK, next topic is unlikely lines for the Queen to include in her annual message.
Some of my best friends are black.
Have you been involved in an accident that wasn't your fault?
Send a rebate or the corgi gets it.
Ashton Schneichelhunch, mein Gurpen Führer!
Look, we don't cost you 99p each. We don't cost you 79p each. I'll tell you what, I'm a fool to myself, but we cost you 61p each, and for that I'll throw in Princess Michael of Kent. You can't say fairer than that.
The Queen is brought to you by Power Jam.
So there were these two nuns in the bath.
Charles, you'll have to prise my crown out of my cold, dead hand.
I'm a killer. Queen!
I think Hugh is the winner there. Everyone, sit back down. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the show. This week's winners are David Mitchell, Hugh Dennis and Frankie Boyle. Commiserations to Linda Smith, Rory, Bremner and Andy Parsons. Thank you for watching. Until next week, good night.
BBC 4 tomorrow at 9 looks at what happened when Tony Young met Julie Birchall and the modern review was born.